The Cathedral of San Salvador in the city of Oviedo, Spain, houses one of the world's most remarkable blends of science, archaeology, and religion. The Sudarium of Oviedo is a 34 by 24-inch blood and lymph stained cloth believed to have been the facial cloth which wrapped the face of Jesus Christ after the crucifixion. Carbon dating suggests that the cloth dates to approximately 700 AD. However, historical evidence states otherwise. In 570, a pilgrim by the name of Antonius of Piacenza wrote that the facial cloth was kept in a cave close to Jerusalem, near to the monastery of St. Mark. Records indicate that the Sudarium was taken to Alexandria in 614 to keep it safe from the Persian king Chosroes II, who conquered Jerusalem. It was moved 2 years later through northern Africa on a journey to Seville, Spain. Moved to Toledo, Spain for 75 years, it was then transported one last time in 761 to Oviedo, to be kept away from Muslim armies. There are several reasons as to why, besides legend, the Sudarium is believed to be associated with the death of Jesus. The main argument is the close ties the relic has with the Shroud of Turin, an artifact largely believed to be the burial shroud of Jesus Christ. The shroud has an image of a man that was severely beaten and crucified. There is also blood coming from his head, mocking the crown of thorns worn by Jesus in the Bible, as well as a pierced side, also correlating with the biblical texts. The shroud historically dates back to at least the 1300s, but there are several theories that date it back to the first few centuries after the death of Christ. Science has proven that this negative image of three-dimensional information on a two-dimensional surface contains no paint, ink, dye, or pigmentation, and that the image is recorded in blood. Both the shroud and the Sudarium have the same AB blood type, which is common among individuals of Jewish background and not European ancestry. The two cloths also line up with each other, proving the cloths were worn by the same man. The Sudarium is much bloodier than the shroud, which shows that the Sudarium absorbed much of the blood. What is also interesting about the two cloths is that they contain pollen from a plant that is unique not only to Israel, but from within a 50-mile radius of Jerusalem. The plant is called Gundelia tourneforti and is a flowering thorn plant. This possibly mirrors the crown of thorns that was biblically placed on Jesus' head. Pollen samples from the Sudarium also back its journey through Africa and Spain. The Bible also supports the claim of this additional head covering compared to just a single burial shroud. In John chapter 20, it states that on Easter morning, the apostles Peter and John were running to the tomb after hearing from Mary Magdalene that Jesus was missing. Verses 4 through 7 state, "The two were running together, and the other disciple ran ahead faster than Peter, and came to the tomb first. And stooping and looking in, he saw the linen wrappings lying there, but he did not go in. And so Simon Peter also came, following him, and entered the tomb. And he saw the linen wrappings lying there, and the face cloth, which had been on his head, not lying with the linen wrappings, but rolled in a place by itself." Head coverings in Jewish burials are also mentioned in the story of Lazarus, in John chapter 11, verse 44, which states, "And the dead man came out, his hands and feet bound in grave clothes, his face wrapped in a headcloth. Jesus told them, 'Unwrap him and let him go.'" While it is not fact that the Sudarium of Oviedo is the head covering of Jesus, the Catholic Church believes, as with the Shroud of Turin, it is an artifact worthy of veneration. But for those who believe in its legitimacy, it is so much more.